Welcome, dear listener. As you settle into the comfort of your own space, feel the gentle support beneath you, the way your body is held, the way your breath can begin to find its own slow, natural rhythm. Let the tightness of the day soften with each exhalation, releasing like grains of sand slipping through an open hand. Tonight we travel not to a distant land, but inward, to the silent and expansive desert of the soul, a place of endless sun, whispering winds, and secrets carried on the breeze. We will follow a young shepherd named Santiago, the boy from Paulo Coelho's The Alchemist, on his quiet journey across the sands in search of a hidden treasure. His path is a gentle map for our own hearts. So let his discoveries be a soft light for yours, a series of soothing whispers to guide you from the busy plains of thought into the peaceful, starlit landscape of dreams. Our journey begins with a simple, yet profound truth that the boy learns from a wise old king named Melchizedek. The king speaks of a personal legend. He explains with great tenderness, "It's what you have always wanted to accomplish." Everyone, when they are young, knows what their personal legend is. He tells the boy that to realize one's destiny is a person's only real obligation. But life and its routines, its practical fears, often coax us to forget this deep inner calling. We become shepherds of our own familiar flocks, circling the same safe hills, forgetting the pyramids that glimmer on our soul's horizon. As you lie here now, feeling the gentle weight of your blanket like a warm desert cloak, consider not the grand ambitions the world shouts about, but the quiet, persistent whisper of your own heart from long ago. What simple joy did it know without being taught? What quiet dream did it hold before it learned to doubt? That whisper is not lost. It is simply waiting for you to be still enough, quiet enough, to hear it again in the deep, listening silence of this very night. To follow that whisper, the boy must make a courageous and tangible choice: to sell his familiar flock of sheep. They represent security, a known income, a predictable path from well to pasture. This is the lesson of the cost of your dreams. For every treasure, there is a price. It is the necessary exchange of the comfortable for the possible, the safe, familiar ground for the mysterious, uncharted path. It is an act of faith. Think now gently of what your own sheep might be, the comfortable thought patterns you return to, the habitual worries you tend, the daily routines that, while safe, might keep you from listening to a deeper call within. Tonight, you can practice a small, brave trade. Exchange the tightness held in your shoulders for the soft, yielding support of your mattress. Trade the circling, flock-like thoughts for the steady, single rhythm of your breath moving in and out. This is how every great journey begins, not with a roar, but with a single conscious and loving release of what you already hold. As Santiago, full of hope, enters the vast, intimidating expanse of the African desert, his new world turns harsh. He is soon robbed, left with nothing but the clothes on his back and the crushing weight of despair. He feels foolish and lost. Yet in a marketplace, he gazes at a merchant selling beautiful crystal glasses and sees a miracle. How the bright sunlight passes through their clear facets, creating brilliant, dancing rainbows on the dusty ground. An idea, soft as a dawn breeze, stirs within him. He offers to clean the glasses, and in doing so makes them shine so brilliantly they attract customers like moths to a flame. This is the lesson of turning setbacks into setup. The universe, in its mysterious and often gentle language, speaks most clearly through what first appears to be loss. The emptiness you might feel at the end of a trying day is not a void to be feared. It is a clean, open space, a crystal glass waiting for the new light of a fresh perspective to pass through it and create unexpected beauty. Your past difficulties are not anchors holding you down, but merely sand that has settled, and from which something new, something stronger, and something more beautiful can patiently be built. To navigate the endless, rolling dunes, the boy must learn to listen in a new way. He meets the Englishman who seeks the alchemist and is buried in books and complex formulas, and he meets the camel driver who reads the desert itself, the signs of the wind, the mood of the camel, the feel of the air. This brings us to the deep wisdom of listening to the language of the world. The old king told Santiago, Listen to your heart. It knows all things, because it came from the soul of the world, and it will one day return there. The world speaks not in one voice, but in a symphony of tongues, the language of subtle signs and omens, of intuition that arrives like a sudden knowing, of the heart's quiet, persistent feeling. It speaks in the warmth that spreads through your chest when you recall a kindness, in the sudden, clear memory of a loved one that visits you unbidden, in the deep, peaceful sigh your body makes as it finally surrenders to rest. Tonight, in your quiet bed, don't try to understand with your busy mind. Simply listen to the soft silence of the room, to the steady drum of your own heartbeat, to the subtle, loving language of your own peaceful presence. This attentive listening is the compass that will always guide you home, even in the darkest night. And in that practice of deep, patient listening, you begin to understand the next liberating truth. The journey itself is the treasure. The boy travels for years, facing scorching sun, fear of tribal wars, and the ache of longing, all for a treasure he believes is buried at the distant pyramids. Yet at each step, finding purpose with the crystal merchant, discovering true love in the oasis with Fatima, learning courage in the desert with the alchemist, he unearths priceless pieces of his treasure. Not gold, but the jewels of wisdom, the precious metal of love, and the strong currency of courage. The alchemist says the secret of life, though, is to fall 7 times and to get up 8. Each time you rise, you polish another gem for your spirit. Your own day, with its small stumbles and its quiet, often unnoticed recoveries, has been its own sacred journey. The treasure you seek is not a distant finish line in some far-off future. It is the very act of resting now, of showing yourself this profound kindness, of arriving fully and completely in this present moment of peace. You are not traveling to find peace. You are practicing peace with every soft breath. You are already, right now, where you need to be. This realization leads to a beautiful and profound surrender, embodied by Santiago's pure love for Fatima, the woman of the desert. He learns from her the concept of maktub, an Arabic word meaning "it is written." This is not a passive resignation to fate, but an active, deep-seated trust in the greater story of your life, written with a wisdom beyond your own. Fatima does not cling. She loves with an open hand. She tells Santiago she will wait for him, because if he is part of her destiny, he will return. It is a love that says, "I trust you to your path, and I trust the universe to weave our paths together." As you drift now towards sleep, you can practice this sacred trust. Let go of the need to control the swirling thoughts, to solve tomorrow's problems tonight. Simply let them be written on the scroll of this day, and then let them pass like words etched in sand, knowing the wind of time and rest will gently, lovingly smooth them over. Your story is unfolding perfectly, even in this quiet, still chapter of rest. You are exactly where you are meant to be. To reach his final destination, the boy must perform his greatest act of courage and understanding. He must lead with love, not fear. In his ultimate test, facing armed tribal warriors, he is challenged to perform the impossible, to turn himself into the wind. In sheer desperation, with his life at stake, he closes his eyes. He does not plead from fear. Instead, he begins a loving dialogue. He communicates with the desert, with the wind, with the sun, and with the very loving hand that wrote all of creation. He understands, in a flash of soul light, that love is the purest, most powerful force in the universe, the invisible thread that connects all things, seen and unseen. In your own heart, in this quiet moment, you too can choose which force to listen to and give power. The fearful thought that clenches your jaw, or the loving breath that softens it. Choose, with gentle intention, to send a warm, loving awareness to each part of your tired body, your forehead, your shoulders, your hands, your heart. This conscious, loving attention is the alchemy that transforms your inner landscape from a place of tension and worry into a sanctuary of profound peace. Through this alchemy of love and trust, Santiago discovers the final, and perhaps most comforting, secret. The treasure is where your heart is. After his long, arduous odyssey, a revelation at the base of the pyramids sends him full circle, back to the very ruined church in Spain where he began his journey. And there, under the sycamore tree where he first slept, he unearths a chest of sparkling gold and precious stones. The treasure was always buried at the starting point, but he needed the entire journey, the losses, the lessons, the love, to see it, to understand it, and to be ready to receive it. This means your peace, your wholeness, your own treasure of spirit is not something you need to desperately search for in a distant tomorrow. It is here, already buried in the familiar, sacred ground of your own being, waiting patiently for you to return to yourself, as you are doing right now in this conscious rest. The treasure is not a reward at the end. It is this very feeling of homecoming within your own skin, your own steady breath, your own quiet, trusting heart. You have arrived. And so, dear listener, as these 10 lessons from the desert settle around you, and within you like fine, golden sand, warm from a day's sun, remember the simplest and most supportive truth of all, spoken by the wise king at the very beginning. When you want something, all the universe conspires to help you achieve it. The boy was guided by kings and thieves, by merchants and camel drivers, by the wind and the sun and the silence of the desert. Your journey to peace tonight is equally supported. It is conspired by the welcoming silence of this room, by the forgiving darkness that cradles you like velvet, by the very air that fills your lungs without you asking. Feel, truly feel, how the entire universe is quietly conspiring in your favor right now, holding you perfectly safe, inviting you softly but persistently to let go. You have traveled far in spirit tonight, across great dunes of thought, and through welcoming oases of insight. Now you have returned, wiser, to the starting point, which is your own sacred, deserving rest. The treasure was always this deep, allowing, profound peace. The universe is whispering its final, gentle conspiracy through the language of your own slowing heartbeat, to carry you, to cradle you, softly into the waiting world of dreams. So release the map, let the journey of the day fade into the horizon of memory, and in the great, loving, eternal silence of the soul of the world, simply and peacefully drift away.